All the team knows they can build a great game, and we're using that energy to build an experience that's even greater and probably what's going to be remembered as the best Assassin's Creed ever made.
So yes, that is a very bold statement that was made in a new behind the scenes video from Ubisoft Quebec on Assassin's Creed Odyssey. So let's dive into that, share my take on if it's possible after playing the game, of course, and take a look at some awesome new footage that was shown in this new trailer as well. So if you enjoyed that, then a like would be super appreciated, and let's go. 400 people worked on Assassin's Creed Odyssey for over 3 years at Ubisoft Quebec inside their own studio, with an extra 400 people working across the world on this game. So that is pretty huge. Like for comparison, at the peak of the development for Horizon Zero Dawn, of course another open world RPG, 250 people were working at Guerrilla Games, and they also had like 200 extra people outsourced to test the game and also create assets in China. So Odyssey will be an enormous game, and it of course already builds upon what made Origins so great, like the new combat system, RPG elements, and of course they reused some assets as well, like buildings. I saw some tents from Origins in Odyssey, and even weapons like the Sunslayer from Origins was in Odyssey for whatever reason. So you would imagine that they had a ton of time to focus on creating new content instead of recreating the feel for the game, something that the team that made Origins had to do. But either way, saying that Odyssey will probably be the best Assassin's Creed game is huge and will be hard to achieve for sure. Of course, it will be very subjective as well. My favorite Assassin's Creed is Origins because of Bayek, Egypt, more layered combat, and the loot I could collect. And I really enjoyed Assassin's Creed 2 as well, but you might all be about Black Flag, or Assassin's Creed Brotherhood might be your favorite. It really comes down to what you want from these games. If you like a fleshed out modern day story and to be an assassin with a hidden blade, then Odyssey will likely not be on the top of your list. But I think that if you enjoyed Origins as much as I did and believe that the RPG route is the way to go for the series, then I think that Odyssey on paper can totally be the best Assassin's Creed to date. Because it does promise to take all the things we saw in Origins to the next level with a full gear system where you can collect different pieces now, fun to use abilities to add more variety to the combat, and the dialogue choice system that made a huge impression on me with quest lines that opened up based on your choices and story moments that happened based on what you did and did not do. I still got a big video planned that showcases an interesting choice and the huge impact it has on the story. Sitting on some footage right now, will of course do a spoiler warning in that video before I show you of course what I'm talking about, but that is really huge and really sold me on this dialogue choice system in an Assassin's Creed game. So yes, if all the promises are as fleshed out as I hope and I saw in the E3 2018 demo, then I can totally end up loving this game more than Origins. Also because it promises endless content to do on the max level. With a bounty system I already touched on in a previous video that will give you endless bosses to fight, where in Origins they would not be around if you kill them all. The conquest battles will keep happening if you finish the game. You can keep searching for the best crewmates in the world for on your ship. And just like with Origins, Ubisoft plans to support this game a lot after launch. And that is another reason why Origins was my favorite AC game. There was always something to look forward to and to turn the game back on for. And of course, I'm a little bit biased as well, because I'm a content creator that was focused a lot on Origins. So to have something to make content about is awesome. And like the stuff that happened in the game, thanks to these new additions, thanks to the Trial of the Gods, was also really fun to cover. And there's a lot of potential for Odyssey to look at the post-launch content from Origins and improve on that, like have the Trial of the Greek Gods that have more interesting battles. Or maybe a Horde mode that does not have a ceiling at a certain point. I really hope they improve and add even more for us to do. So yes, it all sounds great on paper, and I'm sure we haven't seen even the slightest of things you can do in this game at launch. But at this point, I'm not convinced though that Odyssey will be a better game than Origins, so the best Assassin's Creed game ever. One of the main things is the story that I'm a little bit concerned about. I really fell for Bayek. He grew on me a lot throughout the story of Origins and the DLCs that happened after that. He was a father, a lover of Aya that was happy to see his wife again once in a while. And I'm not sure if I will feel such connection to Alexios or Kassandra, and one of the reasons is the fact that their story will be the exact same. The lines they will say are identical, so you do not have this story that fits this one character. Sure, you can make your own choices that will lead to one of the different endings, but I'm a little worried that they can't explore this past or personality for either Alexios or Kassandra, because both characters are the same. I think this will also mean that if you play the game 2 times or side to side with both characters, something that I will likely do, that both characters will blend together and you will not have an understanding of who Kassandra is and who Alexios might be as a person. Hopefully I'm wrong, of course, but I think it will be hard with a system like this to make an interesting character like Bayek. I was also not that impressed by the performance and animations from Alexios compared to Kassandra, who was way more believable in my opinion, so they will totally have time to improve this. They already mentioned that the lip sync will see an improvement since this was an E3 build. It was just work in progress. They still got a few months, like I said, so hopefully both characters will impress me more in the final version. And that is also something that makes this comparison Odyssey to Origins hard, because I remember Origins as a finished game and Odyssey was still very much work in progress with some frame drops here and there. So yes, it's way more fair to compare the two when Odyssey has launched on October 5th. But still though, because Odyssey builds on the systems from Origins, I feel that Origins will always be that special game, more so than Odyssey will be at launch, especially if you played Origins as much as I did. So I'm not sure if Odyssey can capture that same magic as Origins, but I of course hope it will. Time will tell. Again, it's a very bold statement, best Assassin's Creed game, but it does show their confidence in the project. I mean, I'm already happy if the game comes close to the quality of Origins. That would already be amazing. And the more I see, the more I want the final game right now. The new behind the scenes trailer also helped with that, with some awesome new footage. We, for example, got this scene from young Alexios with a spear of Leonidas already in his hands. We see a cool skin or a new horse, because it will be interesting how this mount system works. In the recent Ask Me Anything with the creative director, it was noted that you can only have a horse in this game, so no choke camel. I know you're sad about that, me too, but we have a pretty cool horse named Vobus, according to a recent AMA. So not sure if there will be like skins for that mount, because if we look, for example, at the Cronus pack in the deluxe edition, it says that it gives a mount. So I'm not sure how this will work. Maybe just like Icarus, your bird, of course, you'll also have a mount with a name that you can then like kind of switch in terms of style. Later in the trailer we see a white lion, an alpha lion from the looks of it, that you'll have to hunt for a special quest, according to a leak that turned out to be true. A lot of spoilers in that leak as well, so I will not link it because you don't want to see it, trust me. You should get these legendary quests from Diane, the daughter of Artemis, so there should be more of these special animals in the world to hunt. It was later noted in the trailer that the game was good for 100 hours, and then we of course also got the post-launch content support, so it's gonna be an enormous game, whether it will be the best Assassin's Creed or not. Either way, I'm looking forward to it. October 5th is the release date. Expect a ton of content here on the channel as we near the release, and of course beyond as well, just like I did for Origins. I will be rolling out my E3 2018 videos a little faster than I did like in the previous week, so expect more Odyssey content on the channel, breaking down the new systems and sharing more info of things that I learned. Totally subscribe if you haven't already, of course. Drop a like to support the channel. Check out my video on the fact that you can still be a badass assassin in this game, and I will speak to you next time. Goodbye.